know what the #1 question is that I get regarding press-ons? It is hands down application. So I'm going to do a quick, easy tutorial for those of you who don't know how to put on press-on nails. First, you want to get your supplies together. I like to use pure acetone, the nails of course. Curve Life semi-solid glue is one I've been using recently that I really like. And then just an Emery board if you don't have an electronic file. So first, of course, you want to wash your hands and make sure they're nice and dry. Then, I like to take my buffer and just buff my nail very gently. If you do it too hard, you're definitely going to have some problems. Trust me, I've done the research. So, yep, you just want to buff your nail very gently, like that, just to get the shine off, any grease, and this helps with adhesion. So, you must do this step. Moving on to the other. I like to go around the edges just a little bit as well. I also recommend for those of you who have long nails, like long natural nails, you might want to consider cutting them. I always have little nubs, so that doesn't really apply to me. Okay, so you do a quick buff. You get like a little paper towel and just wipe off the powder first. Then I like to go in with acetone just to make sure all of the powder is gone and to dry out my nail bed a bit. You see how that dried up? Like you can actually see it drying in real time. Okay, that looks good. Now, another thing you can do is, make sure you push back your cuticles and all that good stuff. I forgot, sorry. Push it back. Because the prep is the most important part to adhesion, hands down. So yeah, like I said, you're just gonna push your cuticles back as well. Just use a regular cuticle stick, nothing fancy. I'm gonna wipe again with my acetone. And yeah, that is ready. So, like I said, I've been using semi-solid glue for the past, I'd say, maybe almost a year, and it is great. I find the adhesion is really good, and what I like about it is that it doesn't run all over the place. So if you are a beginner to press-on nail application, I would highly recommend you get semi-solid glue, and you're gonna see what I mean in a minute. So you take your nail, I've already buffed it out on the inside. That is a pro tip as well, but you don't have to do it because a lot of the tips already come with kind of being matte on the inside, so you don't really have to worry about that. But if you do, you just buff it out, clean it, you don't want excess powder, and then you squeeze out. Make sure the lighting's good. You squeeze out a good amount of glue. Not too much, not too little, because you want it to stick, but you don't want it gushing out too much. So you kind of squeeze out, maybe like a little pea size, and I like to move it around a bit. Now, as you can see, this glue is not running anywhere, and it's very easy to handle. Oops, got some on my finger, that will happen. So then I take my nail, and I kind of line it up against the cuticle, and I just place it where I want, and then I hold it for about, let's say, 15 seconds. Now, pretty pretty much no matter what you do, the glue is kind of going to run out. So you need to be prepared for that. Just be prepared for it to be on your hands in some shape, form, or fashion. But what you don't want to do is wipe it with like water, because it will turn the glue white. So I'm just going to wipe with a dry paper towel. Then if any part runs out, you just wipe it with a dry paper towel, and that is it. You basically repeat for the next 9 fingers, as I will demonstrate. Once again, let's zoom in. You want a good amount of glue, not too much, not too little. Maybe about a pea size. Well, that's a small pea. Let's put a little more. And then I like to kind of spread it around. For about 15 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, you get it. Yep, you're just gonna push and hold. Don't squeeze too tight, because as I said, some glue is always gonna seep out, and you wanna be careful, especially if you're not used to doing these like I am. So yeah, you just let it sit for a little bit. That is it. Let me check the other one. Now, don't think it's dry. It's still very much wet, as you can see. So you want to let these set for, I'd say, at least an hour. And then after that, you can put your cuticle oil on and your lotion, and you will be good to go. So yeah, that is how you put on press-on nails. And follow my page for more tutorials and more artwork.